Welcome back to a Timey-Wimey pod, where each week we dive into the timey-wimey world of Doctor Who. I'm Rebecca,
I'm Haley.
and this week we are discussing Series 5, Episode 9, Cold Blood. Haley, how are you?
You know, I'm okay. It's just one of those days. It's a very Monday.
Yeah,
Well, that was really embarrassing, but you get what I mean.
yeah, I'm with you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of days, but it's definitely feeling like a Monday. But I'm good. I'm here. So.
Same. I'm excited to talk about part 2 of the Silurian two-parter.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready for some fantastic facts?
Yes, I am.
Alrighty. So this episode aired May 29th, 2010. It was written by Chris Chibnall and directed by Ashley Way. And she's gone after this. She only did this two-parter, nothing else.
So interesting. I feel like that's been a lot of the directors.
Yeah, I don't know. So there was originally going to be a whole other character in this story. Tony was going to have a brother, and he was
Ah,
going to be the one that killed Alea. But Chris Chibnall thought the dynamic between Alea and Ambrose was more interesting, so they just dropped the brother. And honestly, yeah, I think he kind of ate with that.
yeah, I agree with that decision.
Yeah. So because, the TV, they film things out of order, this was Arthur Darville's second, blah blah blah, two episodes, but second episode, because they filmed these together. So they filmed this, or he filmed this after he filmed the 11th Hour, and all he
Wow.
knew was that he had Amy's Choice and Vampires of Venice left to film. So he didn't know if he was going to come back after this. He didn't know that he was going to be in future episodes.
That is so tea.
Yeah, imagine a world where this was the last we saw of Arthur Darvill.
I can't imagine it. I can't. I
No,
can't.
not in my world, not in the world I'm living in. So last week we talked about a deleted scene that was kind of showed and confidential.
Mhm.
And I couldn't really find the clip for this one, but I didn't really do that much digging, I'll be honest. But apparently, again in confidential, it shows a deleted scene. This one has the Doctor and Nazarene when they're being marched in to be executed, and the Doctor said, and Nazarene's she says something about how they're going to be executed. And then the
Mhm.
Doctor says, the last time I was executed, it really put a blight on the day. And that's pretty much it. But I thought it was kind of funny to mention.
That is funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have for this for this week, kids. Are you ready to jump into the episode?
I am. And please bear with us if at any point there's technical difficulties cuz they've been happening tonight before we
Yeah.
even press record.
Yeah. So what are your general thoughts on Cold Blood? I keep wanting to call this Cold Earth, by the way.
That is really funny actually.
Yeah.
Earlier when I was looking up reviews on IMDb, I almost typed Cold War instead of Cold Blood.
Just lost my microphone. Um
An actual mic drop moment, but there was nothing that would have necessitated the
uh,
mic drop.
let me tell you, I am much happier to be discussing Cold Blood, and
Mm,
I'm glad we're not discussing Cold War. But
me
that
too.
being said, what are your thoughts on Cold Blood?
I really like this episode. It was really weird watching The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood separately because, in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, they typically just kind of lead together or blend together. It was definitely interesting. I felt like this episode felt shorter than the
Yeah.
first part. I felt like Hungry Earth kind of dragged on a little bit, but Cold Blood went by really quick. There are so many good moments in this episode, and I really love seeing the world of the Silurians and what everything looks like. I love the set, and so being able to see all of that and also witness like two different species having negotiation talks. Like, I
Hmm.
find that so fascinating. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely really like this episode. I think it's a really strong second half. I think it's better than the first part.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. I really like the concept. I really like seeing the negotiations and the peace talks. I think all the performances are great, even from like the side characters or characters that just have a few scenes, but particularly Karen Gillan is so
Yes.
good in this episode. Yeah, it's a great story. I kind of wish they made a sequel to this, even if it was
Me
just like a
too.
far removed, like kind of spiritual sequel. But like, let's check
Mm.
in on these Silurians. Let's see the Silurians. Where are they? Where's their war between the land and the sea?
Yeah, I would love to get like a snapshot of like when the clock runs out 1,000 years later. Like, what is that going to end up like? I feel like that's a really interesting opening for an
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah, I have my theories, but we'll get to it at the end.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so where do we even want to start? The Doctor and Nazarene, they're in the ground. Oh, they come across all the Silurians.
They do, and there's a lot of them. Like, I know there's a lot of them, but every time I watch Cold Blood, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of
Mhm.
Silurians. Um, I love that this episode starts off with the classic Earth shot, like from space.
Of course.
Like, that's always good. I love the narration by Eldane. Yeah, we open up to see Amy, and again, she has the Rio bit going on.
Yeah, she's dressed for Rio, allegedly.
Yeah. If you want to hear our beef with that, listen to last week's episode if you haven't.
Yeah, but basically, I just nothing about her outfit is giving I'm going to Rio. Like, are you going to
Yeah.
Rio and picking out that outfit? No. So it's like it just
It's
I
confusing.
listen to last week.
Yeah,
I
listen
said
to
my
last
piece.
week.
I can't get back into it.
Exactly. I love how Amy just narrowly avoided being dissected because the doctor and Nasreen came in, or came underground right at the perfect time. So that's a
Hmm.
slight on Amy's behalf that she
Yeah.
didn't go
Good
through that.
timing. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
She'll get her dues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and she pickpockets him, which slime.
It's like I love that she pickpockets the doctor, the Silurian doctor. I should
Yeah.
specify.
No, in my notes I really had to like specify a lot. And then like at the end, I think ResTech calls him a scientist, so then I started calling him the scientist.
When I was watching this episode, I was like, "This is Doctor Silurian, Doctor
Yeah.
Silurian," and then
I
like
kept saying
I
Silurian doctor. That's funny.
that is funny, and then I got his name from the subtitles.
Yeah, see, I can't watch with subtitles.
Put on streaming, BBC. Where is it at?
Hello. The way it's January 12th and nothing. Silence.
Crickets. Crickets. We have 11 months until the Christmas special. Okay? And we need each of those 11 months to have all the episodes on streaming for international
Yeah, they need to
fans.
put them on streaming so we can convince all the people in our lives to watch the show before the Christmas special.
Exactly, exactly, cuz you can't do that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the doctor's name, and I feel like I'm going to butcher it. It's Malachi. Malachi. It's not Malachi, but it's like,
Maltech?
yeah,
I'm just trying to remember
Malachi.
what they said.
Eleven pronounces it really nicely. I just don't remember the pronunciation.
We'll just call him the Silurian doctor.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, love that she pickpockets him, and then
Mhm.
I love how her and Mo just go off. They go off to try to find the doctor to figure out what's going on. And I just love something I love about Amy is that when she wants to figure out the tea about something, she just goes for it. She goes all in, like she opens those glass doors with the they weren't sleeping, but they were kind of what's the word?
Suspended animation.
Thank you. And she just like steals a weapon, and it's just iconic that she's like totally fearless going into all of
Mhm.
this.
That's one thing about her. She's very brave. She never like backs down from anything. Never like
Mm-hmm.
takes a second to think. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. She's not backing down. She knows what
Exactly.
she's doing, and yeah, we love that from her for her. What
Definitely.
did you think of that moment where they find Elliot?
Oh, that moment. Honestly, I forgot. I forgot they had Elliot all wired up in there. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this episode before. I knew this happened. I just forgot.
You're like, oh yeah, I've seen this.
um, I mean, like, at first it's like low key a little sad, but then the Silurian doctor explains and he's like, you know, I've been down here for 300 years by myself. I'm bored. So I
Mhm.
find the young and I just watch them. I like slow them down and just observe, just see what happens, how they grow, how they evolve. And do I support it fully? No. But he's not trying to harm Elliot.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just
not doing anything
bored.
crazy. Yeah. I thought it was sweet later on he like keeps defending the humans and he's like, they've
Mhm.
evolved while you've been sleeping. They've grown, they've changed. Like it seems like he's the only one that's really been awake this whole time
Yeah.
and have seen how society has progressed. So I thought that was really interesting.
Why do we think he's been the only one awake this whole time?
I don't know. He does mention like he had a family
In
for
the
a while
millennia?
and they're gone and so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he made his way there after everyone like was suspended in time or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe he needed to be on call every single day.
Someone has to keep an eye on things.
Exactly. So,
The next note I have is that Ambrose gets mad at Rory for lying about being a cop when he didn't lie about being a cop.
Rebecca, I have something to confess to you.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm so sorry for giving you beef last week about
Mhm.
Ambrose. I forgot how bad she is.
She's the worst. She's horrible.
She literally causes an attempted war.
Yeah. It's it's everything that happens is literally her fault and any chance she's given to course correct, she makes everything 10 times worse.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Your son and your husband are underground. You don't know what's going on with them. And you're mad because Rory didn't correct you when you thought he was a police officer. What? What was he supposed to say? I'm with a time traveling alien?
Also, I'm sorry, but if you're dumb for thinking he's a cop just cuz he stepped out of a box that said police. When have you ever
Thank
seen
you.
the police with a box? Like, hello?
Hello? Like, how did it get there? How did it get there? It
Yeah.
doesn't have
Yeah.
wheels.
No, like that was your own fault, girl. Like he didn't lie to you.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So Tony goes to visit Alea. He's dying. She says there's no
Hmm.
cure. It's interesting because she's like surprised at first that he's still alive. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know if he was supposed to die instantly or what, but I kind of thought that was interesting that she said that. And then she says, I don't have the whole thing written, but she says something about the first ape death and the coming war, which always just is like, oh, that's a cutthroat line right there.
Yeah. And the actress who like portrays the role of Alea is so incredible because ooh, it's so good and so like has you on edge. But yeah, it's really interesting that she basically is like, I'd rather watch you die, Tony, than like let you help me escape. Like she is so dedicated to her cause to annihilate the human race, and it's just so fascinating. Like she's not going down fighting, she's going down because she wants to start a war, and like that was her
Hmm.
mission in mind. And yeah, I almost wonder if like she thought she like stung Tony worse than she actually did, and that's like she thought she did, you know,
Maybe.
stung him. Oh, hello, words, where are you?
I get what you're saying. Like maybe she thought it was like worse than it was, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, maybe
Um,
she hasn't like stung anyone in like thousands of years, and people have evolved
Good
like
point.
ever so slightly.
Oh my gosh, wait, no, that's actually such a good point. That's
mm.
mm, you're
mm.
standing on business.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, but yeah, we also find out that the drilling that Nasreen and everyone was doing is basically like, what was it, infringing on like oxygen pockets that were on the surface.
Yeah, I never really understood that whole part. And there was
Me
like other
either.
pockets, and they can teleport. I was like, okay, man, sure.
I was like, okay, I don't care
Yeah,
enough.
okay.
um,
The doctor also talks about how he met like another tribe of Silurians back in the day.
yes.
I guess this is a reference to a classic story. Haven't seen it. We'll get there one day, maybe.
Maybe we will. Yeah, I think in reading reviews for this episode, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a John Pertwee era episode.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I think the Sea Devils were a big like Pertwee era thing, so that makes sense. Oh, and then he has to tell them that yeah, at first, Raztech and I think they're still with the Silurian doctor at this point. They're like, oh, like are there other people out there, other tribes? And he has to explain like, no, the humans killed them. The way they use that and like use so many other things in this episode to build attention works really well. And like every time, like with the doctor in this moment, or Leia being like talking about the coming war, you feel the tension building, and like this is not going to end well. Like things are going to get really bad.
Exactly. And guess who decides she wants to literally blow up everything?
She immediately ignores everything the doctor told her like 2 seconds ago at the end of last week's episode. And in one ear, out the other. She does not care. She brings a freaking taser to go talk to Alea.
This annoys me so much because, like, girl, you knew from the get go, Alea was against you all. Why are you using the excuse of, oh, but she was taunting me. That's why I used the stun gun and killed her. Oh, but she was taunting. Of course she was. That doesn't mean you kill her. Just because you want answers doesn't mean you kill her. And just because she's not giving you any information doesn't mean you should take her life. Like, girl, be serious.
And it's like she is the best bet of you getting your son and husband back. And the whole time she's like, they have my son, they have my son. Okay, she's like the best way for you to get them back. Like she's your hostage. They are the Silurians' hostages. Like, what do you think is going to happen to them if you kill Leia? And then like she stuns her, and then is like, I didn't mean to do that, and then does it again.
I'm like, why? Oh my gosh, Ambrose. Like, why is that your method of dealing with all of this, of dealing and interacting with Alea? Like, what? What?
Yeah. And she's so easily provoked too. Like what does Leia even say to her? But immediately she's just like pulling out the taser. And I love how even her dad kind of like shakes her and says, we have to be better than this. Like everyone else is
Yeah,
on the same page except for her. Like she just wants to do whatever she wants. Consequences be damned.
exactly. And like, you really would think that a mother whose husband and son are like underground, they're AWOL, she doesn't know exactly what's going down. Like, you would think the one bargaining chip she had, she would guard regardless if she liked it or not, whether she liked Alea or not. Like, you would think she would care about keeping Alea alive.
Yeah, no.
And
Um,
just her being like, I didn't mean to do it.
I
I
didn't
didn't mean
do
to do
it.
it. Like, poor me.
And
I'm
then
like,
she like
girl, pack
and
it
then
up.
she like uses again and is like purposefully like trying to hurt her. It's
Yes.
crazy. And like, what was your plan when you brought them that taser? Were you going to torture her? Like, what are we doing here? I literally can't with her, and she just gets worse from here. Like, I mean, maybe this is probably the worst she does. She literally kills
Yeah.
someone, but like nothing she does. I don't even think she feels sorry at any
She
point in this
doesn't.
episode. No,
She
does
doesn't
not
feel
care.
sorry at any point. Okay, both her and her dad electing Rory as the spokesperson on video for the human race, and then her pushing Rory out of the way, being like, no, you can't, when they ask to see Alea. I'm like, okay,
And
okay,
even the
girl.
doctor has to be like, "Hey, like, let's just let Rory deal with this." Like, he's
Yeah.
trying to like gentle parent them. He's like, "Let's just
Gentle.
let Rory talk." Like, okay, no, she's immediately causing problems again.
Yeah. And poor Rory. Okay, this man is dealing with all of this dumpster fire right here. He
Hmm.
has to like he's holding Alea as she's dying, and he's torn up because he's a nurse and he's Rory and he cares and he sees that, she's a being just like they are, unlike Ambrose. Ambrose doesn't see that. And yeah, so Rory deals with this, and then he, you know, later, and that poor man.
Oh, yeah. No, it's really, I feel really bad for Rory here. But it really makes me laugh how they just like are randomly able to turn on this like random old computer that
Yeah,
doesn't even look like it's plugged in. It doesn't look like it's been
exactly.
plugged in for years, but they turn it on. I don't know about you, but did you recognize the shot from Hoodle? Because I saw this part and I was like, this is a screen cap from Hoodle.
Oh, you know what? I was not thinking about that, but I was thinking about a Hoodle from before that was The Hungry Earth last week. I don't
Oh,
remember what, but it was, yeah. As we
yeah.
like continue our rewatches, though, I'm like, oh, that was on Hoodle.
Yeah.
Wait, we should spread the word if people don't know listening what Hoodle
Yes,
is.
if you don't know Hoodle, it's like Wordle, but every day there's a new Doctor Who episode and you get 5 chances to guess the
Mhm.
episode, and it's very fun.
It is.
And sometimes frustrating.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard. Like for the month of December, they had
Oh my
Gelth.
gosh.
Oh my gosh, the Gelth infiltrated like the website, and so oh my gosh, it was like next to impossible to guess the episodes, but it's really fun and we like doing it. So
Yeah, shout out
check
to
it out.
Hoodle. Check it out. Send us your scores. Yeah, what's next? I just have Ambrose ruining everything.
Yeah, I think we've established that.
Yeah.
Eldane, he comes into the
Yeah.
picture.
I really like this man. I think we
Mhm.
got a lot of we he's like one of the people that I was talking about at the beginning where I was like we get strong performances from everyone, even people we don't see that much. He's definitely one of them, like even just his facial reactions, like there's things that happen later on and he doesn't even say anything. We just kind of see his face, but you
Mhm.
know what he's thinking. You can see the pain across his face, and you just know he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I probably should have mentioned this in Fantastic Facts, but the little narration at the beginning and the end, they
Mhm.
added that after they filmed the episode and after they wrote it because they just really liked the actor and wanted to include it.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really love him because you can really tell like he's had his fair like share of experiences with the human race and just with things in general in the Silurians, and he just like exhibits this presence, and like you said, like he doesn't even have to say anything. You can kind of just look at him and see where his head is at, and he really adds to this episode a lot.
Hmm. And this is the part where the doctor says to Nazarene and Amy, like, hey, now you're the ones that are going to have to speak
Yeah.
on behalf of the human race. What do you think about that moment, that decision?
I really love that. I mean, we always see the doctor like speak for the human race. And I mean, we see this, of course, in the 11th hour when he's talking to the Atraxi. And so we just kind of always see him in this role where he's speaking for humans and like fighting on behalf of them. So it's really cool for him to see him just kind of like take the gloves off and put Amy and Nazreen kind of in these negotiation talks with Eldane, because at the end of the day, like when it comes to sharing a planet, Earth is not his planet as much as it seems like it
Hmm.
is. Like it's not.
Yeah.
And so I love that he gives them like the opportunity, and of course they're both like panicking at first, but I think it was necessary. It was necessary for that, for any progress to be made.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And like they may not be the most like, no one chose these two people besides him. They're like for the most part regular everyday people, but in one sense that kind of makes them like perfect to be part of
Mm-hmm.
these negotiations. And I love how Nazreen really takes this charge very seriously, and she is getting to work and she's having the tough conversations, because if any of us were in this position, I think we would all be saying what she's saying, which is like,
Yeah.
no one is going to go for this. Like there's no way we can convince the 8 billion other people on this planet that this is so old kosher. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be a tough sell. So I love watching this whole process unfold, because it really feels like, come on, this would never work. And then we get a glimpse, just a tiny little baby ember of hope that, wait, maybe this could work.
Yeah, and what's really interesting to me too is that like on Eldane's side of things, he's advocating on behalf of the Silurians, and obviously Amy and Asreen are advocating on behalf of humans, but it's really cool to see them in these negotiation talks because their worries like and like concerns are different, but eventually they do find a lot of similarities. And like you said, there's just that shred of hope, and it really shows that like both the Silurians and the humans are in the right. Like neither one is in the wrong. Like they both want to live well and prosper and get along, but it is like a big ask to have just this entirely new civilization to come live above ground. And so, yeah, I love that moment of hope where, Eldane is like, well, what about like this? What about like we can help increase like sources of energy and like scientific and medical advancements? And Nasreen says, like, now we're talking. And it's really cool to see that because, like I've said multiple times, we don't see this at all in the show, really. But of course, unfortunately, it's just that a shred of hope because it doesn't last.
It doesn't. Yeah, but it's interesting to think about, like, wow, if everyone could get on board with this, like maybe the whole planet would be better off with this deal, because
Yeah.
they would provide new medications, new technology, new energy sources. Like, how much more better off would the humans be if they did work with the Silurians and they were able to like mutually benefit each other? And yeah, you just get that glimpse of hope. And then it's taken away. So the shot where they show, we're back on the surface, and they show the four transport pods. Ugh, another great little
Yeah.
detail that just builds the tension, because only like three people are using that pod, and they don't have a fourth person to go in the fourth spot. Oh, it makes you sick.
Yeah, exactly. And Ambrose has that tense moment with Tony where she's like, you have to do this. We have to have a
Mm.
bargaining chip. We have to have something. Which, okay, I am not going to lie to you. I don't know what was happening with me when I was watching this episode today because for some reason in my mind, I was like, oh, she's telling him to bring the stun gun. No, why did I think
Um,
that? I've seen this episode before.
no, you're valid. I kind of forgot about the drilling part for a minute there, but so you're valid.
Okay. I'm not that crazy then, at least. So that's good.
Yeah.
No, for
Also,
today.
like, girl, like, what if you weren't able to escape? Like, y'all all could have died from
Yeah.
this. Like, you're
Ugh,
lucky.
so lucky. That was such a big gamble. And like the way, I mean, ultimately it did end up saving them in the end. So good for that, I guess. But like Ambrose,
Hmm.
like, honestly, girl, this was all because of you.
And like, this is what I mean when I say like she never once tries to make amends or tries to course correct. She just doubles down on everything she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, she is the true villain of this whole story.
100%. But I will say I do have another op.
Okay, okay. Are we there yet, or are we not there yet?
Nowhere there yet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll mention this more than once, but it's rest deck. Oh my gosh.
Mm.
This is going to be
Rest.
like the Ross Russ pronunciation of this whole darn stratagem of Poison Sky.
I think it's Reztech.
Yeah, Reztech. She's also my aunt because why did she kill the Silurian doctor?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, that is sad. Yeah, and he and the doctor had that great moment, and the doctor was
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I think I love you." Famous last words. Like, of course,
No,
immediately gonna
honestly.
die. Like, hello.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
know. Yeah. She and Alea, they're just both they're a little trigger happy. Like, they are
Yeah.
waiting for this war. They are begging.
100%. Yeah.
Is this where I can admit that I thought Breztek and Vastra, who we meet later on in the show, were the same person?
No, I did think that for the longest time.
Yeah. I mean, they're the same actress,
Yeah.
but I thought, like, you know, Reztech somehow ended up in Victorian times, and this was her, like, I don't know what I thought. I just thought she ended up there. It's Doctor Who. Hello, like, anything can happen.
No, that's so valid because like I thought like very similarly for the longest time, like not in recent years, but like when I was younger watching
Yeah.
Doctor Who for the first few
Hmm.
times. It can be confusing when they use the same actress and like the same, costume, which again, I just love the costume so much.
It's so they all look so good and unique. Like, it's great makeup, great whatever they're doing here. I love it.
A moment that okay, like I hate it because of what's going on, but I love it at the same time is Eleven's reaction when he sees Alea and he is just instantly angry and he tells Ambrose that we had a chance here. In the future, when you talk about this, you tell people there was a chance, but you were so much less than the best of humanity. Oh, what a
Ooh,
line.
if he said that to me, I think I would die right then and there from
Mm-hmm.
shame, embarrassment. Like, you pack it up after that. Like, you can't keep going after that. Yeah, insane. This whole scene from the moment they step in is so fascinating to me. They all start walking in the room. Amy's, all excited to see Rory. Elliot's all excited to see his mom. They're all happy. Meanwhile, Rory, Ambrose, Tony, they're walking in
Mm-hmm.
terrified. Like, you can see it on their faces. They don't want to be here. And you see the doctor kind of slowly realizing what's going on, and then just Tony struggling to carry Alea's body, and then, like, finally just dropping her on the ground, basically. Ugh, it's so horrible. And then we get this heartbreaking, incredibly performed cry from Reztech. It's so,
Yeah.
oh my, I think about that moment all the time, and the way she cries for her sister. is so heartbreaking.
Yeah, you can just feel the pain and the turmoil that she just instantly feels. It's very moving.
Hmm. I love how even Elliot is mad at his mom.
Yes. Yes, like as soon as he finds out, because at first I think like 11 asks like Tony like what did you do? And then
Hmm.
Ambrose like steps in and is like it was
Oh,
me.
she's taking credit. She's like, it was
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And you know what? I will give her credit for that she
Yeah. God, we if you're not watching us, sometimes these random emojis pop up when we're recording,
Mhm.
and we just got a thumbs up, which not the best timing for a thumbs up.
No, that's why I froze and yeah. Um but yeah, you know, I will at least give her credit that she didn't like blame it on her dad or anyone else. Um Not saying that's a positive. I'm just giving her a little bit of credit.
You got to give her something. Um,
No.
Matt Smith plays this whole thing really, really well, and this is the
Mhm.
moment where we all know, like, whatever negotiations were going on before, it's over. There's no coming
Yeah.
back from this for either side. But he's still like, we had something. Like, he's really trying here, and everyone
He
else is just giving up. And Ambrose is like, she's like, no, we're gonna like kill you all if you don't let us go, basically. But it's
Yeah.
just, it's so sad to see the doctor, like, he wanted this so bad. He really wanted it to work.
Yeah, he really did. Because I think he could see the potential. He could see in his mind the benefits, and of course, he's always going to want thriving life and civilizations, whenever he can help it. So I completely like understand his heartbreak, and then Restek and her whole army that she brought up with her, they enter the room, and that is when 11 sonics all their weapons, which I do like that. I find that kind of funny that
Yeah.
he all of the like they all outnumber 11, but he's able to sonic every single one of their weapons.
Yeah, very, very funny. I love later, they're like, when they're running down the halls, he's like, oh, my very dangerous, deadly weapon. And then he just like sonics the guns, and the rest of them are fine. Very funny.
Very funny. A moment that we skipped over that I wanted to just briefly talk about is to do with Nazarene, and it's when Amy and 11 tell her like they travel in time.
Oh,
I have a question. Like, why is it that like whenever someone goes in the TARDIS or travels in the TARDIS, like they just think it's a teleport? Like, why do they only think it's a teleport? Why do they never stop to think like maybe it travels in time? Because like if I was in a random machine that was bigger on the inside and I had no previous knowledge, I would be like, okay, it has to do more than just teleport, right?
I I I, I want to be with you. I do, but I don't think that's where my first thought would go. I don't think I would be like, well, it must also time travel. Yeah, I just don't think you're thinking that way. But yeah, to me, I read it as like obviously she's surprised, but she's not like that surprised. She's like, okay, that kind of checks out, you know?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Another moment from like way back that I just want to mention because we talked about it so much last week was that the doctor does apologize to Elliot for, taking his eyes off him.
He does, and I appreciated that because
I'm sure.
I forgot that he apologized, and so I appreciate it.
Yeah, see, he felt bad.
He did. He did. Poor Elliot. He really went through all this trauma. His mom is a murderer. His grandpa is like,
Yeah, he'll never see his
stop.
grandpa again. That scene makes me really sad these
No, me
days.
too. Me too. I love how like 11 just like comes up to Nazreen. By the way, like they've like ran away, they've locked themselves in a room, but they're surrounded. And I love how 11 just asks Noreen Nazreen, hello, Nazreen. He's like, so basically, like, how would you feel if we blew up like your whole life's work? And you know what? This is why I love Nesreen, because she gets it immediately, doesn't fight back, doesn't become petty or like angry or frustrated or upset. She just accepts it for what it is. She knows it's their only way out.
Yeah, like obviously she's like, don't love that, but yeah, she's not fighting
Yeah,
it. She's not making the situation worse. She understands what has to be done.
exactly. And then they go for it, and Eldane is, trying to start the decontamination process on Tony, and then
Mhm.
he's like, actually, like, let me start this toxic gas so everyone will go back to where they should be. So there will be no war, which slay for that. But that's when everyone realizes that like Tony's got to stay under there if he wants to survive. What are your
Mhm.
thoughts on that and Nazreen and that whole thing?
I love that they stay behind. I think this is fascinating, and to think about how they're gonna presumably wake up in 1,000 years with everyone else. I think that's so cool. And like at the end when she says like, "Oh, come find us," I'm like, why didn't we get a sequel to this? Like, this is
Yeah.
so fascinating. I understand why, because I think that's just like too that's almost too big of a concept for the show to
Mm-hmm.
do. And if you did do that, you would kind of have to stick to it and make sure like
Yeah.
going forward, like after this point in time in history, the Silurians are like everywhere. They're going to be part of this. So I understand like the show, maybe that's why they didn't do it. But I guess you still could, no, what's stopping us? But yeah, I just thought that was really, I love that they stay behind. And I love how she says, I spent my whole life, digging into the earth, trying to find something, and I found it. And I just think it makes perfect sense for her character. She's a scientist. Like I said, she spent all these years digging into the earth, and she found this whole ancient civilization. Like, that's a scientist's dream day at their work. Like, of course she's going to stay down there. So I love that decision for them.
Yeah, and I really love how, like, kind of at the end, she tells Eleven that I don't want to go. I've got what I was digging for. I can't leave when I've only just found it. And she's talking about the Silurians, but she's also talking about Tony because she's looking at him while saying that. And I just find it really, really sweet.
Mhm.
Rebecca, would you do the same? Would you stay for 1,000 years?
Maybe. Just but the concept though of waking up and 1,000 years has passed, that's
Yeah.
horrifying. Like, you're basically a brand new baby at that point. Like, you have nothing, no
Wait,
one.
wait. You're so right.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even, 1,000 years has passed. You won't even be able to figure out like what happened to your family at that point. Like, oh, it's just so far removed. But if I was like her and my whole life was about like digging into the surface of the earth, yeah, I would stay. But that's not my whole life. So I can't imagine. Like, I don't know. It's a tough choice. What would you do?
I have no idea. That's why I was asking you. Like, I really don't. Like, it will depend. We'll find out. I will give
Yeah.
you my true answer when there's a ring on this finger.
Mm. Yeah.
I will say that would be such a great like TV show concept, like especially for a pilot, like these two people waking up 1,000 years later and like re-entering civilization, except you don't know all the like Silurian backstory yet. Like that would be a good
Mm.
show.
That would be. They should do that. We also haven't really talked about this, but before all this has happened, this is when the doctor is like tells everyone like set the timer
Yes.
1,000 years from now, get the earth ready, start a religion, do whatever you have to do. And Elliot, he's so cute. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And
Yeah.
I love this idea. I love that they're gonna like get the earth ready. But thinking about this realistically, I always think about how this would end up just leading to like this town and Elliot kind of starting their own little like lizard people cult. And no one listens to them because they're just like random people in this middle of nowhere town.
Yeah, my mindset is like I feel like they would tell people and the word would get spread, but then everyone would be like, oh, it's just an urban legend, and no one would pay attention to it. No one would change anything, and Ambrose would still be stuck in her ways, be like, I was right, I'm not speaking about these Silurians anymore.
Oh yeah, Ambrose ain't helping the cause whatsoever.
She,
Elliot's on his own up there.
yeah, oh my gosh, she's the reason. Okay, actually, well, I was gonna say she's the reason that her dad was stuck under there, but no, he got stung before she decided to be messy.
I have somewhere in my notes. Oh, Tony would rather stay in the dirt than with his daughter.
And that tells you enough. That tells you enough.
He's like, I'm gonna wait. Catch me in 1,000 years.
Where do you think Ambrose is in like 20 years? Because I feel like Mo definitely divorced her.
Oh,
Elliot is like low
family's
contact to no contact.
Yeah, I know Tony tells him, like, don't blame your mom. She's just doing what she thought was right, which, like, is, like, she is a mom, blah, 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 like, okay. But I just can't, I think, like, Mo's leaving her. I think the son's gonna hold it against her. Like, he never gets to see his grandpa again.
Yeah.
That's gotta be tough on a kid. Yeah, this is a broken family, and she's left with maybe nothing.
Ambrose, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Ambrose
did it to yourself.
Yeah, she is also the reason Rory died. Directly, I don't know, but
we'll blame her. I'm fine with that.
You know what? They wouldn't have all been running away if it wasn't for Ambrose killing Alea.
And if she didn't set the freaking drill, they wouldn't be like on such a time crunch.
Yeah, so they're on a time crunch. 11 is like, everyone go in the TARDIS, go in the sick bay, like, take your places. And
my question, why did they need to go to the sick bay? What was that for?
I don't know, like, I heard 11 say something like, Ambrose, go get, like, fixed up at the med bay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like, why? They're like, we need you to, like, not be a part of this next scene. This doesn't involve you. Don't worry about it.
Can you imagine if they were, like, just in the TARDIS, just silently staring?
Just like, what?
Like, what's going on?
So, yesterday I texted you that we were going to get to talk about peak cinema. And when I text you that, I was talking about these next couple of scenes because... Oh, hit my mic again. Peak cinema is right here. Yeah, this is sad. This is Rory death number 2, and in my opinion, the saddest one.
Absolutely the saddest Rory death. Oh my gosh, because I remember watching this episode for the first time and not expecting this at all.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I remember my heart being torn into, and it was hard. It was it's always emotional watching the scene because, to set the stage, to set the scene, we see the crack. The crack is back.
The crack is back.
I did not mean to rhyme there. And 11 is like, I'm really annoyed that literally everyone, including like Prisoner Zero, knows the tea about this crack, but I don't. So I'm going to stick my arm in, which I love how he just sticks his arm in and doesn't get erased.
And he's fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it. He's using his tie. It's okay.
It's okay. And he gets a piece of shrapnel. And then who comes literally crawling? Restec.
And of course, Rory has to, take it's not a bullet, but has to take a bullet for the doctor.
Yeah.
Sure. Like, he would have been fine.
He would have regenerated. He would have metacrisis again. Like,
he would have bi-generated.
No, I can't. Nope. We're stopping here. I cannot do that tonight.
The concept of a MOFA era bi-generation.
The concept of like potentially a fake out regeneration by the 11th Doctor after the 10th Doctor just had to fake out the season previous.
Yeah. Um, but the scene is so sad. The all he says to Amy, he says, "You're so beautiful," and then he just keep. Oh, but first he's sorry. I'm all over the place, you guys. But he's at first so confused. He's like, "I don't understand. We were on the hill."
Yeah. He's
That's
like, I
so
can't.
breaking.
He's like, I can't die here.
Ugh.
Ugh.
That's sad. And then I love like the final thing he says is just I'm sorry. Like he's apologizing to Amy for dying. And if that's not the most worry thing you've ever heard, I don't know what is.
And oh my gosh, Karen Gillan's acting in this scene. Oh, it is heart wrenching.
Mhm. It is her face is so good. And this is like one of those moments where the doctor has to play the bad guy here, and it's so fascinating to watch
Yeah.
because now the light from the crack is coming to Rory. They don't have time to drag him inside, and so he just has to like drag Amy to the TARDIS. He's apologizing while doing it, and he's holding her back. He has to like sonic the door so she can't get out. It's
Mm-hmm.
heartbreaking, and the way he like sonics the door and then just walks to the console while she's like trying to get out, like just banging on the door. Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
And when he
Oh.
just starts the TARDIS and pulls the thing on the console, I
Mhm.
love that clip so much because you can just see like it's the last thing he wants to do, but he knows like it's what he has to do. And Amy just hears that and she starts screaming at him like, what are you
Mhm.
doing? And he just like tries to hold her and like try to like help calm her down. And just the way Karen acts this out and Amy just being so upset and like, but the crack, that means he's like going to be gone forever. But like I can remember him. I remember the clerics in the time of the angels. Why can't I remember Rory? And 11 just says the thing is like Rory's a part of like your history, your
Mhm.
timeline that's getting rewritten, but like you have to remember, you have to think about Rory or else he'll be erased forever. It's just so heartbreaking when she's thinking there's these flashbacks of her and Rory that we see, and then you slowly see them fade and her just say, but it's so hard, I can't do it. And 11's like, yes, you can. And then they land, which they both fall on the floor once they land, and she just gets up and asks what they were talking about. Oh my gosh, never been so gagged.
So good. Like she's acting. Oh, Karen, this whole thing, Karen performs so well. And then in that
Mm-hmm.
moment where she's like, "What were you saying?" Like she's back to normal, but her face, it like her mascara is smudged. You can tell she's
Mm-hmm.
been crying. Oh, it works so well. And yeah, everything from Karen like crying, trying to remember. I love her speech about like, but you said I'm a time traveler, like I remember the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
That's all performed so well. And then they're just like the main plot of the episode comes back. I literally have in like the episode plot walks back in because then we get Mo and Elliot and Ambrose
Mm-hmm.
back from medbay. And then they
They're
gotta
back from the
go.
med bay.
Yeah, they're back, and they gotta watch the drill blow up after we were all just traumatized. Back to the main plot of
Back
the
to the main
episode.
plot. They were like, this is going to be a really hard watch. Let's put Ambrose back on the screen and make everyone rage that she survived.
Yeah, yeah, and like all these people, like they don't even remember Rory now. Like
No,
it's so crazy.
it is. Something I do love though is that some memories they still bleed through. Like when Amy's looking at her future self on the hill, 11 asks her, "Are you okay?" And she's like, I thought I saw someone else for a second."
I
Um,
know.
and then when she's going into the TARDIS and Eleven's like, like the lock's been jamming, and she's like, "You boys in your locksmithery," which is just another bleed through. Like I love that
Yeah.
these small things are still bleeding through. And that's when 11 takes out the piece of shrapnel.
Gagged. I was so gagged watching this for the first
Mm-hmm.
time.
Like, what do you mean the shrapnel is a piece of the TARDIS? Like, what do you
Yeah.
actually mean?
Mm-hmm. Crazy things are coming. What's going on?
What's going on? Such a good, solid episode, especially with the end. The ending is peak cinema with
Mm-hmm.
Rory, with Amy, with the doctor. Like, such a standout moment for me in this entire era. So emotional. Rest in peace, Rory, for right now. For right now. Rest in
For
peace.
now. Yeah. No, so good. I love just how they're weaving in this plot with the crack. I think it's one of the most like well written and developed series arcs, and the fact that we keep kind of revisiting it, and it causes like real consequences for the characters like before we get to the finale, I think is really nice. I get annoyed sometimes with like Russell's series arcs where it's like we keep seeing this old woman, but like nothing really is happening, and like we're not going to get an explanation till
Mm-hmm.
the very end, or we just hear this random phrase, but it's not going to really matter till the very end. While Moffat is building something that like each week we're kind of getting a little bit more explanation, and we're slowly getting the pieces, and it is having consequences while we're on these like side non main plot adventures.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. RTD's arcs, I feel, can get pretty old pretty quickly. There's some iconic ones, and then there's an old woman showing up 2 seasons in a row, like you mentioned. Um, I really enjoy and appreciate how thought out the Kraken time arc and like the series 5 arc is this entire series, and just seeing it kind of seep in the most unexpected moments. It's really great, and it also grows and strengthens the arcs of all of the characters that we see. It's just so good. The way this
Mhm.
was filmed, the way it was written, perfection. Something else. Actually, I'm not going to spoil my opinions, but I am so excited, like so beyond excited to talk about next week's episode.
I can't believe we're gonna be talking about next week's episode next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, how are we here?
How are we here?
Yeah, but before we wrap up, who is the star of the show?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. I do kind of have to give it to Eldane because he really swooped in. He really tried all that he could, and he worked with the doctor to, save the Silurians and humans. And I just really love that. Love the actor, and his portrayal. I also feel like I want to give a little shout out to Nasreen because she is great. She's iconic.
Yeah, Nazreen is definitely my star of the show. They knew if they were gonna give us a character as horrible as Ambrose, they had to also give us such an iconic character, which is Nazreen. She's a great like stand-in, what if companion type character, and I love her story, and I love how it ends, and she's iconic.
Absolutely. And special shout out to Rory Williams. Love you, King. Fly high.
Who? Who's that?
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Who? What is the heart of the episode?
Don't be like Ambrose.
Yeah. Just don't. Just
Just don't.
put the taser down.
Put the taser down, take a deep breath, walk away.
Yeah. Don't use your kids as justification to, I don't know, just be a bad
Kill
person.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, stop. Do we have any reviews from the past?
Yes, we sure do. And they are from IMDb. And the first one was written on August 30th, 2015.
Dang.
And it was written by the user sleeping underscore dragon. And I'm just going to read the last part of their review. They say that Silurian culture is really interesting. I praise Chris Chibnall for creating an interesting Silurian society. There are different factions, different ideas, and infighting. I wasn't entirely in love with part one. I was fairly bored for most of it, and same for the best part of this one too. Watching it, I kept thinking, we've been here before, nothing original on show. The action scenes are pretty good, but overall it's just unsatisfying. It was too long over 2 episodes.
I disagree. I think this is a great two-parter. It's way better than a lot of other two-parters that are to come. And I think it's great work from Chibnall. Like, I will give
I
Chibnall his
agree.
props when he deserves it, and he deserves it here. Like, this is great work here.
I completely agree with you. You know, me and Chris Chibnall, but I will give credit. I really like this two-parter.
Hmm.
This next review is by the user Melwin, and they wrote on June 12th, 2010, saying that I confess to not being a fan of Chibnall. He has a fondness for overblown set pieces instead of proper stories, and likes to stick melodramatic character interactions into a story at the most inopportune times, like poking a stick into the spokes of a wheel, derailing the momentum of the story entirely. Ironically, I missed the beginning of The Hungry Earth, and so was initially unaware this was his handiwork. That said, there are moments of good dialogue, but that is all that this story has going for it. And I just find this really funny that this was written in 2010. So this person, I'm so curious if they wrote any reviews during the Chris Chibnall
Oh,
era.
yes. How are you feeling now, person?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's interesting. Like, they're only judging off of 42 and this, which
Unless they
uh,
watch some of his Torchwood episodes. I don't know the
oh,
dates of
yes, of
those.
course. Yeah, they definitely would have had Torchwood at this point. I forget he did a lot of Torchwood, so there are some points about his writing in that review that I think ring true. But again,
Hmm.
this, I have no problems with any of his work in this two-parter.
I agree. Okay, and this last review I have was written on July 12th, 2021 by the user Wetmars, and I just found the end of their review really interesting. So they said, I am not interested in the subplot between Rory, Mac, and Ambrose in the first 10 minutes. I'm assuming they put Mac instead of Tony, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
But they continue by saying it got better. Like they always say, the first part is better than the second part. I am not a big fan of the Silurians wearing combat masks. They could have gone with the original concept art for goodness sake. Give me a break. On the positive side, I did find all of the characters were well written, so is the story from my point of view, and teamwork is the key. I found Amy to be tolerable in this one, where she isn't annoying. Rory was sadly left out. I am not a big fan of the writers who keep on killing Rory. Why?
Oh,
I
get ready.
I do like how the Doctor still fails to achieve peace between the Silurians and humans. As for Chibnall, I find this to be his second best story behind 42. Good pacing and enjoyable. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, this is definitely above 42 for me.
Agree.
It's interesting that they don't like the beginning with Ambrose, Rory, and Tony, because I
Yeah.
kind of wanted a little bit more of that dynamic of the three of them, and
Oh,
she's, this hostage that they kind of have. Like, I kind of wanted we got a Tony and a Leia scene, we got the Ambrose and a Leia scene. I wanted a Rory and a Leia scene.
okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that, but I'm also okay that we didn't get more screen time
Yeah,
with the three of
totally.
them and Alea.
Hmm. Yeah.
But those are all the reviews. And do you have any more thoughts?
I don't think so. But thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week with Vincent and the Doctor.
So crazy. And as always, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at TimeyWimeyPod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, TimeyWimeyPod.
My hair looks really great, so if you want to see my
It
hair, come
does.
to YouTube because it's really working for me this episode.
No, it really is. It looks really good
Yeah,
today.
thank you. And email us your thoughts on this episode, your thoughts on Series 5 to timey-wimey-pod@gmail.com, and we'll read it on the show. And we're coming up. We're almost at the end of Series 5,
Yeah.
which means we're going to be doing our wrap-up soon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to send us your favorite outfits of the series, your favorite character moments, your favorite crack in the wall appearance, send it to timey-wimey-pod@gmail.com. And leave us a review, 5 stars. It would really help us out. And yeah, have a great week.
And we will talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Wait, hold on. We need to say it at the same time. Ready?
Okay. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.